Yo, what up? This is your boy Solo, and now we're back here again, and now we're gonna talk about science is indoctrination and lostness, and is truth to everything, but not everything is true. So, by getting into science and understanding science, I already grew up in schools, graduated high school, went to college, and I understood science on a on a level where it was my favorite subject, and I got high scores in science, and it was the easiest topic that I could have passed, and it was easy learning about science. I don't know about the rest of the world, but it was my favorite topic, like I said. And learning about all these things about science, protons, electrons, how everything in life has these things, neutrons, and things that I forgot that word, forgot whatever that shit is. But yeah, science tells you about protons and electrons, and that everything in life has these things, which is true to a certain extent from a logical perspective. But from a spiritual perspective, it's a whole different reality, is a whole different story. So you need to keep in mind that the natives who lived on this land had the spiritual system down. They knew how reality was created and how we are existing. And then they got colonized, and now the British, the Britons, the white people, they're giving you the watered down version of their sciences and their religion. So, and this is why we're all here in the first place. Not knowing the bigger picture of reality, but still on a ground basis of thinking that we understand reality on their perspective of education that they gave us. So when it comes to protons and electrons, they say protons is positive charges and electrons are negative charges. That's by understanding it on a logical perspective, left brain perspective. Scientists are left brain. They're all about logic. They're all about hypothesis, theories, calculating, measurement, and procedures, and taking steps and things of that nature. They're not spiritual. They're just logical. Left brain is logical. Right brain is spiritual. Scientists are not spiritual. They're only utilizing logic to understand the reality that we're in and the world that we live in. And by that is a limitation, because they're only utilizing their left brain. They're not utilizing their spirituality, which is going within, having imaginations, and allowing the universe to flow through you, so you can gain more information of your reality, more expanded awareness. And since scientists don't use their imaginations, they think imaginations is just imaginations, and it's la la land or whatever. This is where the usage of words can get you lost, and the limitations of words. So scientists are limited by their perspective by logic, and the white people and the colonizers, the whole bloodline lineage that colonized the natives, which were right brain. They had a balance of everything, left brain, right brain, and understanding equilibrium. But the thing is, colonizers are only logical of how they want to survive and thrive, and that's how we all here, being too logical about our reality, not utilizing our right brain to be more fruitful and imaginative with ourselves and our mind, and how to reach enlightenment. So when it comes to protons, protons are just is the masculine energy, the ability to push out an idea, to externalize the mind. Men are more on the positive end, aka masculine, the ability to externalize more than women. Women are more emotional, they internalize, they give birth, they nurture, they take care of things, they bear the fruit of the thought of the man and nurture that idea. They comfort the man and they support the man's idea. So this is not what they're telling you. They're just telling you the logical perspective of how they trying to understand reality. When in truthful, you're already utilizing these energies for yourself. They're just they're utilizing your masculine and feminine energies to build their world, to build their sciences and religion and their jobs and their shit, whatever. So you're using your masculine energy to understand their sciences, and now you're jumping into their sciences thinking they make sense, which is going to make sense on a surface level. So now you internalize it to learn everything about it, and to you externalize their science. Now you internalize it so you can remember and think that it's part of reality, and it's gonna make sense, but it's not the whole truth, because you already utilizing your positive and negative charges to digest their programs and indoctrinations. And by doing so, you're giving your power away, you're giving the godlyhood away, and you don't know. Once you do that, you're lost, and you lost yourself. You're digesting their information, their programs onto yourself, onto your subconscious mind. And what you're supposed to do is step back and see the bigger picture. If men are creating hypotheses and theories about reality, that should tell you that they're using a mind to think about things on how to go into and internalize things and give it names and give it titles. Do you catch me? So you're using your mind to think about their shit and to internalize their shit just to pass their exams and education and stuff like that, to get a job and to thrive in the world, which is nothing wrong with that. But the fact is that they're using your godlyhood, your divinehood against you, which is not gonna matter at the end of the day when you pass on and die, because you don't know the truth about reality. You don't know the truth about yourself. You just know what they taught you, and they don't go no further than that, because you're using too much logic and not enough spirituality. And it goes deeper than just left brain and right brain. But just to make it simple, shout out to Dola the Pilot Man. But yeah, we're supposed to be more spiritual. We're supposed to balance out our left brain and right brain and be a bit more spiritual, or a lot more spiritual at this rate, and understand ourselves from a spiritual perspective. And then you will understand that we are the positive and negative charges creating this reality. We are creating our world. We are creating our existence, this universe that we're in. The thought is the masculine, the ability to create an idea, externalize. You externalize that image, that vision. When you jump into that vision, you're internalizing that idea. Now it's becoming dense, vibrations, and it's fluid. It becomes fluid. It becomes the waters. And when we're all doing this together, we create our reality. And how we are creating our reality now is based on, we're still doing this, even if you're indoctrinated, but this reality can be way more expanded and creative if people wake up to the truth. But this is how it is right now, based on indoctrination and the limitations of the human mind, or should I say the subconscious mind. And yeah, we are creating our reality from within, with our minds and in our emotions. The mind is the frequency, the ability to create an image of something. This is what the spirit is doing to come into existence, to be conscious. You're even doing this in your dreams. The ability to create an image, an idea, a vision. You jump into that world, that world becomes heavy. The vibrations. So the mind is the frequency, the emotions is the vibe, the flow, the vibrations. And these are the two mechanisms the spirit is utilizing to will itself into existence. But yeah, and it goes a lot deeper than that. But this is just I try to put it in a simple perspective so people can understand it, and I hope people catch it. But I'm going to leave it at that. Peace.